All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friday Night Victors Week 5 wrap-up show. Chris Schultz, Gary Hoff, excuse me, and we are week 5. I mean, yeah.
Week 5, man. We're going to go over the games.
Over halfway through, and we're going to jump right into the games this week. Or last Friday, I should say. A lot of good games. Some blowouts as usual. Whiteford. But, yeah, so let's get into it. Let's start off with Game 1. Summerfield, 44. Whitmore Lake, 8. Any thoughts on that?
I think it was kind of expected. You know, Whitmore Lake won a couple of games to start the season 2-0, and then they've kind of gone backwards from there. Summerfield is a perennial playoff program.
Sure.
You know, they're there every year, it seems like, and not surprised by the victory at all.
Yeah, they jumped into the top 10 in the power rankings.
There you go.
I think
Already
deservedly so. Yep. And Whiteford, we already mentioned, 48 over Adrian Madison. They had 0.
I don't even know what to say.
No
other
thoughts?
Than, I tell you what, Whiteford's obviously had some good teams lately, right? Great teams.
That's 2 years.
Their
3
defense
years, yeah.
is unbelievable. I mean, what is it? 20 points so far this year?
Yeah.
Something crazy. It's just,
They're good.
it amazes me.
They're good. I'm a double wing guy. They run the double wing, but they run a lot of other stuff other than double wing. They put some receivers out there. They have a good time with it. You can do anything when you're up 40 points.
Yeah. And
After the first quarter.
they play defense.
They do. Okay. And a great game here. Maybe a little closer than I thought it would be. Blissfield, 14. Dundee, 9.
Gosh, the Vikings had their chances.
Yeah.
It sounds like the defense played great.
Yeah.
To only give up 14 points to a Blissfield team that's kind of high flying.
Yep.
Vikings got stopped. 4th and goal with like 30 seconds to go in the game. Some people said they were in, probably the Dundee folks.
Yeah.
Some people said they weren't, Blissfield folks, and the only other folks that counted, the officials.
So
But
they
I
weren't,
think it just goes to show you that Dundee has a really nice team.
They're a playoff caliber team.
They really
Will
are,
they get there?
and I
That's the
hope they
question.
can get enough wins. And if they don't, you know, maybe 5 and 4, we'll get them in. I'm not
Well,
sure.
they're 3 and 2. They have 2 more games. I think they can win in Mason and Onstead. But will they qualify them? Will they have to give them enough points?
I mean, you know, Ann Arbor Huron helps being 80 points. It's a Class A team. If Huron can get a win there somewhere, maybe that helps them out. But
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
know.
see.
I like Dundee. I think they play
Yeah.
really, really good defense. They're not scoring as much as they need to really win games at this point.
I concur. All right, moving on. Carlson, 42. Southgate Anderson, 6. Yeah,
We knew that was coming.
we knew that was coming. Yeah. Anderson's not very good. Carlson is good.
I'm sorry we haven't talked about Carlson a lot this year, but we will when we go to the game this week because they
That's
got a biggie coming up.
That's right. Ida, 42. Erie Mason, 12. What do you got?
No surprise. It's you know, it really comes down to blocking and tackling, and it doesn't matter what else you can do. You have to block and tackle better than the team you're playing. Ida does that well, and that's that really.
Yeah. Mason's still learning, still young. Yeah, Ida was expected to win that game. All right. Monroe, 30. Huron, 0. Did it end 30 to 0?
No, it was like 38 to 8. I don't think I
38 to 8.
updated them. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
you
I
did
was
it.
off my game on Friday night.
Yeah.
But,
Well, Monroe wins big over Ann Arbor Huron, and that was another expected.
It was over when the bus pulled in.
Yeah, they was you know, it was kind of a potential trap game, but Huron, they're you're not get trapped by Ann Arbor Huron too often. So.
No, not really.
Yeah, big win for Monroe, and next week, as like Carlson, they got a big game next week. All right, Bedford, 43. Ann Arbor Pioneers, 7.
This score surprised me. I thought it would be a much closer game, although I picked Bedford because I picked every game right last week.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just opened the can.
Yeah, I thought it would be a pretty good size win for Bedford. Maybe not like this, but I picked it a 10-pointer. But you know, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was 20 points, but 36
awesome.
points.
I was
Yeah,
very impressed.
Yeah, Bedford's looking tough, and they're primed for their run. They need to make a run, obviously. All right, Milan, 46. Jefferson, 7.
No big surprise here.
No.
I don't think. They're at opposite ends of the Huron League spectrum at this point, and Island did what they had to do, keep pace with the other teams in the league.
Yeah,
Game back of Groza.
Osbacher had a nice game for them. And we can go over a couple players here. Logan Murphy had a nice game for Whiteford as well. Okay, and this was a big game here, especially for Airport. They wanted to jump into the next tier of teams, like some people think they belong. Riverview, however, beat Airport 20-9.
20-9, and I think Riverview just did what they had to do. They did enough, and it looks like Airport just didn't bring enough offense. You know, I think if you hold Riverview to 20 points, much like when Flat Rock held Riverview to 24, you got to think you have a really good chance.
Sure.
Maybe Riverview's defense is just better than, we think. I don't know. It sounds like it was a good game, but, it ends up an 11
Had a safety and a snap over the head, and Airport got on board with 2. From reading from the blog, we weren't there, but Airport had some chances, a couple opportunities near the goal line, and didn't convert early in the game.
Riverview's made a habit of that this year, though, stopping people in the red zone, so that's a sign of a good defense. Banned, but don't worry.
That's right. And okay, moving on here. SMCC 28, New Boston Huron 23. I was at that game.
I don't even know what to think of that score.
I was at that game, and I left. I was in the first quarter thinking, how in the heck did Huron get blown out by so many teams? I saw a team that was way faster than I thought. The McCrate kid, number 6, sophomore, speedy, tough, and had a real nose for the football, ran hard, and just the size of Huron.
How are the tackles I talked about?
They're huge. They don't get a lot of push. I mean, they're like 6'1", 300 pounds.
Just clog in the middle, right?
Clog in the middle. And there's sophomores, juniors. I don't think I called, myself and Jeff Grote, I called a single senior.
Maybe the Williams kid. Maybe the Williams kid.
Do you remember any seniors call? I mean, very few. Williams
would have been the one for sure.
I mean, it's all sophomores and juniors. Almost all. Everywhere you look. Blosser's a junior. Is that right? Yeah. He's their bruiser.
Good kid.
They're going to be good next year, and it would not surprise me. If Huron gets blown out again, and I'm talking 20-plus points, I will be very surprised. I don't care who they play. They found themselves. I think the coach has people in the right positions. Molnar, the quarterback, sophomore, like 6'2", can run. He's got some little bit of weight to him. He's good. He can throw and run. I was very impressed with Huron. Now, CC did what they had to do. They got the W. They having some injury issues at SMCC, but they did what they had to do. They dug deep and won the game. But overall, I think we both thought it would be a 20-point game at least.
I did, yeah. My prediction was like 38-6.
Yeah, Huron was very impressive, but SMCC moves to 4-1, and I put in the blog, there's no style points for SMCC anymore. It's just win. It doesn't matter by 1 or 41. It's just win at this point, and they did exactly that. Workman's-like performance from the Falcons, and they got it done. All right, GI 35, Flat Rock 28.
Yeah, I was at that game, and
You put Huron for. You confused me there.
I don't know what I did. I was, I do this all on my phone when I put these scores in. And
Girls 0-35.
I never went back and took a look at the scores.
35-28, and it was a real good game.
Flat Rock jumped out on top 14-0, and Groseville battled. They Flat Rock was doing some, we'll call it backyard football things, and people were screaming. I was sitting on the Groseville side the first half, and they're going nuts, and the parents were yelling and screaming, but Bodner stayed the course, and the coaching staff did a nice job, and I think this game really, Zach Thompson, right, the quarterback,
yes.
Zach Thompson, he threw 3 touchdown passes. He was the difference in the game.
Yeah, he's good.
The kid, the wind was blowing.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard from some other games, you couldn't throw the ball, the wind was blowing.
No.
The wind was howling at Flat Rock.
Huron was throwing the ball too. Yeah.
He threw a couple of balls into the wind that were touchdowns.
Yeah.
This kid's a player, and he's going to play college football. I have to imagine he is, because he's big enough, and his presence in the pocket, he created 2 of his 3 touchdowns with a scrambling and then unloaded a dart 25, 30 yards for the touchdown. So I thought Groseville was the better team, and the better team won that game.
Okay. Flat Rock still the
solid
best 1-4 team around?
They have to be.
They have to be.
I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I don't either. They could run the table. I know the Flat Rock fans are hoping they could, and they very well could. So we'll
they
see.
could, yeah. They got a big one this week coming up at Airport.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think that's it. You want to call out our sponsors real quick? Quick 1 minute?
Yeah,
Love-
we can
love here.
talk about Gerwick Nissan.
Gerwick Nissan, thank you. Level Up Training, thank you.
Yeah.
Little Vinny's in Newport, thank you.
And Varsity Athletic.
And Varsity
in
Athletic,
Monroe.
thank you
Yeah.
very much. Don't forget to
Appreciate
hit that donate button. If you want to give us a little love, show us a little support, we'll send a t-shirt your way somehow. And we appreciate you watching Friday Night Victors, and we'll see you next time.